In an attempt to complete its southern plan, in 1941, the Japanese Imperial Army attacked Pearl Harbor to cripple the United States' support to its southern Asian country allies. Although Japan did damage the U.S. Navy forces stationed in Pearl Harbor, it did not cripple the entire U.S. Army. And in response, the United States declared war against Japan. The United States avenged Pearl Harbor by executing the Doolittle raid in 1942. This effectively is a suicide mission for its pilot. 16 B-25 bomber flew over Japan in order to execute the plan. However, due to the distance of its carrier and Allied territories, the pilots of these bombers intended to land in China, which is mostly occupied by the Japanese Army. Although the damage made by this attack is at its minimal. This raid marks United States' first strike against Japan. The psychological effect of this plan hit the Japanese Army's morale. On August of 1945, after years of development, 2 atomic bombs dropped in Hiroshima and Nagasaki forced Japan to an unconditional surrender. However, there is one attack that is considered the single deadliest attack during the World War II. So much so that its death toll is comparable to the atomic bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki combined. Nearing the end of the Second World War, one question remains in the mind of the Allied leadership: how to end the war quickly and with as little casualties as possible. This question gave birth to the Tokyo firebombing, one of the most controversial and morally questioned attacks during the war. After taking control of more territories in the Pacific, Allied forces can now reach much of mainland Japan at any given time. But certainly, Japan has to be slowly crippled down with its war industry and population morale. Major General Curtis LeMay had the solution on how to achieve this goal: bombs. Duplicating its success in the European war theater, LeMay thinks that this will pave the way for the Japan surrender. Tokyo, being one of the most populated cities in Japan, became the target. With this, the Operation Meetinghouse had been born. LeMay's plan was to use incendiary bombs to achieve this. With most of Tokyo's infrastructure made from wood, he compared it to someone setting fire to a toy village when he was a kid, stating, "So he set fire to the first house, and brother, they all went." Although their target of northeastern Tokyo is not much of an industrial area, but mostly residential, they thought that it would be the most devastating and effective target of all. In LeMay's autobiography, he recalled the grim estimate he made as the effect of this operation. "No matter how you slice it, you're going to kill an awful lot of civilians." End of quote. But in his mind, if he did not go to this plan, it's either the Japanese or the American will be killed. So on March 8th of 1945, he gave the order to prepare for the attack. Around 300 B-29 flying fortresses are designated for the operation. He ordered for the plane to carry as much bomb as possible, stripping the guns and ammunitions from its fuselage. Bombers were assigned to fly on different altitudes to avoid detection and coordinate their plan accordingly. It took 3 hours for the striking group to reach Tokyo. With its unusually low flying altitude, the Japanese radar had a hard time detecting the planes. Although there are reports sent from the Japanese soldiers who spot the group, it was not entertained or disregarded, as they cannot believe that planes can fly at such low altitude. Unharmed, the massive bomber group reached Tokyo. And 8 minutes past midnight on March 10th, the first bomb exploded. In a formation intended to create a burning X shape into the ground, the bombers continuously dropped bombs after bombs after bombs. 14 bombers were taken down by the Japanese ground force, which is marginally more effective than its air fighter that was not able to shot a single bomber down. With all the fires in the ground, the bombers were pushed higher up in the air as the heat from the burning city is felt from their planes. The burning inferno quickly spread through the city, destroying everything in its path. Houses, buildings, and all the flammable infrastructure within the target area burned down. Tokyo only has 1,000 firefighters. Overwhelmed by the immense fire, they abandoned the plan to extinguish the flames and shifted their focus on saving the people. As civilians tried to escape the city, stampede occurs, knocking down many people and getting caught by the flames. All these while bombs kept on raining down, sometimes in the middle of escaping civilians. All in all, the raid lasted for more than 2 hours. but the flames raged through the mornings, until the fire runs out of fuel and materials to burn. About a quarter of the city had been destroyed by this raid. In a report by the SBS, or the Strategic Bombing Survey, states that around 86,000 had been killed and 40,000 had been injured, being the single most and deadliest 6 hours period in history of man. Although estimates differ from sources, most historians accepted that 100,000 were killed during this operation. But with immense amount of damage and loss of lives, it is nearly impossible to get the exact number. Many were left wondering whether their family member survived or escaped the fire. For Americans, the damage and effect of this raid is significant, given that it only cost them 14 B-29 bombers and 96 airmen. Major General LeMay is pleased with the result and considered this attack as a success, a major blow to the Japanese Imperial Army's morale. The goal has been achieved. Although 5 more cities have been raided by incendiaries in the coming months, nothing is comparable to what had happened that night in Tokyo. That event was dubbed as the Night of the Black Snow.